I tell you what I'm grateful of now. I'm grateful of having real men around me.
Right.
And this is what really pisses me off is about the health and fitness industry. And the reason why I call it unhealthy is because you can bet your bottom dollar that in most gyms, there can be a selection of really quite unhealthy men. And I'm not saying unhealthy the way they look, even though some of them, have got single number body fat levels, and yet they're at home crying over a pot of Nutella, at the end of competition time. You can look apart, but just inside, the reason why you're doing all these things is just so dysfunctional. It's so harmful to yourself and pushing yourself, and this is why vitality is so important, because people don't nurture things. It's like having a sports car. You just, there it is, you start it up, you're revving it from the word go, and you're straight out the door racing off to I don't know where, because it's all about speed. It's not about like
Grace.
Warming things up.
Yeah.
Getting into it and appreciating things.
So tell us what you do with Alive and Thrive. Is this somehow the way you've turned it around and passed it on in a healthy way?
Yeah, so when you think about it, we all have foundational principles that it would really serve us right if we follow them. Night and day rhythms, even that on its own, with all these screens and pressures. So what I do is encourage people to work on the foundational principles of what it means to be healthy. And I think from a mental perspective, we have to shift the way in which we look at all this output, all this doing, and not enough input of kind of cultivating our energy. Because, a gym workout can be cultivating, or it could just be an out and out blast that you can't recover from. So one of my things is to change the mindsets of people from like looking at what you have, building on what you have now, and then start to express that in whatever form you choose, exercise or movement wise. So I think it really is about that nurturing, that recuperation. It is about your vitality, which is, like your bucket with the water in it. You do too much and it's like putting holes in a bucket and all the water leaking away.
And how do you run the program? Is it individual or group, live or online, or
it's a online group scenario?
Right, so everyone all over the world can take part.
Everyone, yeah.
And they need to be there at the same time.
Yeah, so it's a Zoom focused online coaching and educational session.
That's all the rage. That's what everyone's doing these days, isn't it? It's the way people get access to the best without having to move to wherever it is that they are.
Well, in some ways you've got learning in the place where you're most receptible, place of rest or recuperation. I went through a phase of working only with corporate people in the city, but having worked as a personal trainer for all those years, 11 or 12 years, that's what drove me into being unhealthy, for all the different reasons surrounding the whole image of being a personal trainer, the image of what people come to you for and what they want, therefore you kind of push them into what they think that you are. It's all just one twisted up, like, who the hell is running the show type of thing.
Yeah. Do you know, another thing that I'm really chuffed that you do is you do a lot more public speaking these days, don't you?
Yeah.
And I really love that you do. I mean, we've done some together on stage and video and stuff. What I love about it is you're not a multi-syllabled smart-ass that's telling everyone what to do.
Yeah.
It seems that, I mean, we've experienced this today. The way that you have talked personally about your own story and where you failed and where you succeeded and how you've turned it around. So do people go onto the same website to book you for public speaking and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to touch base, it's feelingamazing.com.
And who do you like to speak to Oh, okay, let's get clear. I'm guessing you will speak to anyone as long as they listen.
No, I don't actually.
So who do you like to speak to, and what is your area?
Well, look, at the end of the day, a saying comes to mind that, and I know it's a bit of a naff saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't teach it to drink.
Yeah.
So for me, people are in such a rush to get somewhere. I haven't got the time to slow everyone down. It's only people that are ready, that are at that point, which is like, look, I've tried so many years, like similar to how I was. Maybe I can shorten it for you.
Yeah.
Not 30 years, maybe it will be 13 months. But, you know, people are so brainwashed, they're so occupied, they're so on their screens all the time, that it's really hard to get through to people. So unless people are kind of ready and are willing to take on that core message, which is, you know, you got to appreciate what you got to start increasing your energy and vitality. At least you're in that. If you're not in that mindset, then, you know, carry on blasting yourself.
So from physical and emotional and mental self-abuse, you've taken that raw energy and turned it into information, health, vitality, how to really take care of yourself, beyond fearing other people and having to fight, beyond having to have like muscles of armor so people don't mess. And you're getting down to authentic men and women taking care of themselves.
Yeah, and celebrating the body they live in.